Breaking news, everybody. We have a mix of mostly good news, a little bit of bad news. There's just so much to talk about, so I'm just going to fly on into it. What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, excuse me. First and foremost, the biggest thing we got to talk about is the rotations. We'll talk about who's going to start, or however. They really mixed it up today, but for the majority of the time, it was Rogers and Slay at cornerback, and Maddox at the slot slash the nickel. In terms of wide receiver three, that was another big question. Paris Campbell was wide receiver three, and then in terms of the safeties, it was obviously C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship. That's what it was for the better part of the day. For like the 70 minutes that it took place. Punt returns, it was Britton Covey, John Ross, Nia Smith, and Zaire Rogers. Um, Definitely exciting. Because I was thinking, maybe John Ross could take that spot from Covey. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it. It's not a prediction. I was just thinking, maybe you never know. I mean, he is fast. He does seem, passionate about the game again, and he does seem different than like the other interviews that I've looked up or however. So second team linebackers were Nakobe Dean and Van Sumeren. First team was Zach Bond and Devin White. Steen at the right guard, Becton at the left guard. Since Leonard Dickerson was out, I would assume it was just like to see like the depth or however to see just how good Becton or however got this offseason. Offensive news: Shaq Davis is out. He was placed on the injured list. Jalen Hurts looked better than he did at OTAs. That's really exciting. A lot of people were over hating on him, saying like, "Oh, he's gonna have a bad year, this, and that. How he spent all this money, or however, just for this, or however." And they're already freaking out just over OTAs. He's a little rusty. He took a month or two off. It happens. I mean, regardless of how much you love something, I mean, it's okay to take a day or two off. It'd be all right. It's not a big deal, regardless. I mean, even Tom Brady, the one who has most rings of all time. Yeah, he cheated, or however the case may be. I give you that. But even then, he had a couple days off. You don't win them all. But either way, it was just OTAs or however. So, but even then, take it with a grain of salt because I mean, it is training camp or however. But I mean, he is looking better. He's getting warmed up, and you know what I'm saying. Regular season form. Quote unquote, he looked more crisp. He only missed one pass, 15 for 16, no interceptions. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, they want to run the ball. They've been talking to their running back coach, things of that nature, as well as another Eagles star, which we'll get into a little later. As a matter of fact, yeah, Jordan Mailata, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. However, yeah, those were the three that wanted to run the ball. My bad. Um, yeah, overall, yeah, best pass of the day was Jalen Hurts to Dallas Goedert. It was a 35-yard touchdown pass. Sorry. Um, Jeff Lurie was talking to McKee down there. We seen some pre-snap motion early on in the practice. That was like one of like the first things I've seen was pre-snap motion. When you have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith as your two wide receivers, you got to use motion. You know what I'm saying? So the fact we're seeing it this early is absolutely a good sign that Kellen Moore actually does have a lot of pull. And then Jalen and Paris Campbell, they had really good chemistry. They like connected. I seen like a bunch of like updates about that on my Twitter slash X or however I seen that. That they were showing to have good chemistry and that they had a really good connection, and things of that nature. So defensively speaking, Cooper DeJean is out. Hassan Reddick is holding out, so we're kind of dodging a bullet on that. So that's kind of like a relief. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want him gone initially, but knowing what we know now, you know what I'm saying? It's not that bad of a situation or however. We've still got a draft pick compared to losing out on money or however, and him not playing. So yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, Darius Slay feels good. He looked okay. I'm not gonna say great or good, but he looked decent. You know what I'm saying? So, um, next up, um, some press conference news. AJ Brown, he said that he sees the work ethic and the battles and the young guys like wide receiver three, the tight end battles, younger like the Castles dude and whatnot. CJ Ozama, I know he's 31 or however, but he still sees the battles in terms of that. And then he also sees it in the secondary and all that. And then he said he almost forgot Jason Kelsey wasn't there because he was there so often or however. So I mean, he just thought he was in the some like in the bathroom or whatever the case may be. So. And he said that Nick Sirianni is more spread out between the positional rooms respectively, like in the cornerback room, the quarterback room, tight end, wide receiver, running back rooms and all that, or how he's able to check up on them more individually, or rather than just offense and defense. He's able to like check up on their like positionally and coach them that way, and help develop them that way as well. So in terms of that, I mean, really exciting to hear about. But yeah, next up, Jalen Hurts. He said a lot of interesting things. I got like 9 or 10 or however interesting things that I thought was like really interesting. He said he talked to Nick Sirianni about things needing to be discussed. At least that's, showing maturity and things of that nature. He said that he really trusts Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, and Jeff Lurie, and the coach Kellen Moore, and everybody to be in the right position to succeed and to help put him in the right position in terms of signing people, trading people, etc. Um, so I mean that's really good. I mean, as far as I can tell, I mean the beef is squashed, like I said. So I mean people can find something else to talk about. Next up, he said that you know the message for the team like coming into training camp was his talent goes so far. He's played around talent before. You know what I'm saying? Talent goes far, but it's the team. You know what I'm saying? It's them working together, willing to sacrifice, willing to, you know, lay on the wire so the other guy could cross, type of thing, or however that helps him get rings and championships and dynasties and everything that comes with it. So I mean, I thought that was like big of him to say. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the same philosophical stuff or however. Um, but yeah, he said he has lots of confidence in Cam Jurgens, building a relationship with him, as well as Jeff Stoutland because of how much Jeff Stoutland meant to Jason Kelsey. So, he wants to build a relationship with all the coaches, you know what I'm saying? So, I think that's really good. He's not a selfish guy. He's, wants to build relationships with everybody, wants to learn from anybody and everybody. He said that it's really important, you know what I'm saying, that Kellen Moore trusts his judgment and his instincts. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's gonna force him to run too much. I don't think he's gonna like force him to like change how he thinks too much or however the case may be, which was a common concern. Like, oh, what if he's gonna try to make him Tom Brady pass 90% of the time? Or I don't think he's gonna do that. He trusts his abilities, his judgment. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think since they're paying him that much money, I think he is gonna have at least a little bit of a say in terms of the style of offense being called. And if you can get there once, you can do it again. Obviously you need good players, you need a good scheme. You know what I'm saying? You need coaches that can make adjustments, absolutely. But just as important, you need to have the right mindset and the right foundation. And I think so far everyone has the right foundation to get what we all want, the Super Bowl. So next up, Saquon Barkley, he said a few interesting things. He said that he felt a little disrespected by the New York Giants contract negotiations, and he also said that he knew that the owner wouldn't like if he went to Philly, but that the owner couldn't have stopped him because he wanted to be here. And that he said he's really excited, you know what I'm saying, to be here. He's ready for whatever carries wise. He's ready if some games he has to, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, or however, and this, and then if some games AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, if they have that, he said he's perfectly fine with either way. He's whatever it takes. That's what he said. He sounded like a real team player. He said that Jalen Hurts is a natural born leader. So I mean, all this bodes well. It's just showing that reporters and media will do anything for clicks. I mean, it seems like as best as I can tell, I'm not an expert, I don't know everything, but as best as I can tell, someone who bleeds green would look up all the news for hours and hours and really would dig deep in to see what I could find. No Diddy. Yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, I mean, it looks really good so far. Again, despite minor injuries and minor, what I'm saying, things or however, in terms of Super Bowl, I think we got a pretty darn good chance. I would say still, but there's nothing that happened that would lower our chances just yet. Nothing's happened yet. I'm not going to say never, never. I'm not going to say never, but um, yeah. Next up, he said that the O line was a big reason why he came here. Just goes to show, um, you know, Philadelphia is a place to be desired in terms of playing. People do want to come here. The media wants to paint a picture like nobody wants to come here. The Eagles can't keep people or however the case may be. But in all reality, people do want to come here. You know what I'm saying. But they can only afford so many good players if everyone wants 30, 40 million a year. You know what I mean? That's just true. If every player wants 30 or 40 million a year, you can only sign so many players. Um, so again, that's when it comes to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Laying like getting on the wire. You know what I'm saying? So the next guy could cross. No Diddy, because I know people are nowadays. Anyways, some general Eagles news. Um, CeeDee Lamb's holding out. It just goes to show why, you shouldn't play for a franchise that can't even afford to pay their players. You know what I'm saying? So next up, Sirianni, he does his part of shutting down the Jalen Hurts beef. That their relationship is really good and whatnot. That any rumors suggesting otherwise, he wouldn't put much stock in it because people always want to make drama and all that, or however, and that's just part of it. He said that not he said, but the Cowboys are on the most overrated list. I think they're like top 5 most overrated, or top 10 most overrated, something like that. That's good to see that they're finally being called out for the frauds that they are. Absolute poverty franchise. Um, I mean, literally probably a 3 or 4 win team, 5 win team next year. I mean, you lost Pollard. I mean, you don't have an O line. I mean, next up, 49ers, they were ranked below us. They were ranked 7th. We were ranked 5th in the future power rankings next year, considering they're probably going to lose Brendan Ayuk. Um, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it seems pretty accurate to me. Um, and with DEJEAN out, I really think that it's time for us to sign Justin Simmons. Um, Main reason being, again, Cooper DeJean's out. That does kind of bring an injury concern to Tidfit. That was already kind of worrisome enough. And then now the hamstring or however, I mean, is just going to be a long list to come. So at least for this year, which is trying to be a championship year, because after this year, I think 25, 20 something plus people are going to be free agents. So I mean, this year, we got to make it work. We need a ring this year. Um, Jalen needs a ring. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Jalen needs a ring, and I believe he can do it. I believe he has everything he needs this year. At least a decent, coordinator. I mean, he has a good running back. Um, but yeah, overall, I think my final thoughts of the very first day of training camp. Sorry guys, I'm just super excited, and I can't wait to see more clips and things of that nature. Final thoughts are is that so far so good. I mean, like I said, I mean Jalen Hurts, he seems to be vocally stepping it up as a leader. Maybe he's just letting us see more, however, because he said, "Oh, it's just what I let you see. You see what I let you see," or maybe he's just letting us see more, however, kind of get us off his back. I don't know. I can't tell the future. Um, but overall, I mean, yeah, I'm very excited for the Eagles season this year. I think we have the potential to do something special. Really excited for what AJ said. He can see the battles on both sides. Saquon, he said he's really excited for the O line and things of that nature. He's excited that maybe he can reach his full potential because of the O line or through the O line, and just really excited what everyone's saying. Everyone seems to have Mamba mentality. I'm not. They haven't said it or however, but everyone just seems in a really good place and really happy, and So yeah. Last year, everything kind of seemed off. They didn't really seem happy or however. They just kind of seemed like, yeah, how's it going? This year, hey, how's it going? They were all smiles. Everybody was. And then this year, everybody's smiling or however. Obviously, Landon Dickerson, no matter what, unless I don't even know how much it would take, but to my knowledge, no matter what the case is, Landon Dickerson, good morning, hey, how's it going, And then same thing with what's his name, Lane Johnson. He's always in a good mood. For the most part. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's 100%, but I mean 89% of the time what we see on camera, or however them in training camp or however. I mean, last year everything kind of seemed off and quiet, or however. This year everybody seems energetic. Everyone's hungry. Everyone wants to prove themselves. So I mean, overall, first day it seemed tough. You know what I'm saying? Mekhi Becton threw up. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, it seemed like they were just trying to get a better look to see everything and what they had, didn't have what they had to work on. Still have 20 something plus $1 million in cap space, so we can make a trade. You know what I'm saying? We can sign somebody or however. We can still sign Simmons. We might be able to get him on a deal, get like a little cheap veteran linebacker. You know what I'm saying, or a defensive edge. On the backup side or however, just in case. But that's overall what I think. Like I just think they were gauging to see what they had or however, a little bit more fierce competition, a little more athletical plays and things of that nature. But yeah, so far I mean B plus. A little bit of minor things besides Cooper DeJean. Um, Maybe needing some depth defensively in certain positions. I think went pretty well. That being said, I really appreciate you guys watching today's video. I'll try to have it up by like 5 or 6 this evening. And if anything else happens between then, I'll add it on or however. But yeah, I'll try to have this up by like 5 or 6 this evening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Keep on with the feedback. I might be going live sometime this week or however within training camp and preseason or however. I'm pretty sure it's August 9th, the first preseason game. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry guys for rambling. It's just I love my Eagles. We're finally getting some sort of action again, to get the football blood pumping through our veins. You know what I'm saying? I bleed green. I love my Eagles. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Philly out. Peace. This is why legitimately I decided to wait a little bit to edit the video. News broke out that JALEN Hunt, he did like some really good plays, and he was kind of dominant in his own right. It says here, according to ABC27.com, rookie third round pick JALEN Hunt may have more of a role than some might think. The linebacker / edge rusher got some reps with the first team defense. So not only did he already get first team looks, but he also stood out whenever he pushed Jordan Mailata backward using a violent hand chop and stiff arm to push Mailata backwards. He did something similar to backup left tackle Fred Johnson, and there was one play when left unblocked. Hunt ran straight into the backfield where that would have been a sack if they were allowed in practice. Hunt is the kind of player that defensive coordinator Vic Fangio loves, having the ability to rush and cover. We haven't seen Hunt covering receivers much yet, but he showed the ability in college. He began his career at safety. So I know there's no patch just yet, but I'm saying even then to do something like that to Jordan Mailata, who's a pretty darn good, offensive, lineman in his own right, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, Fred Johnson, who's had potential, who, they picked up, Jeff Stoutland knows what he's doing, things of that nature. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, this bodes well for the Eagles. We finally heard a little bit of something from them. It's not much, but I mean, a good hand chop play against Jordan Mailata, who's successful, the same thing against the backup, and even basically got a sack if it was allowed in Eagles practice or however the case may be. That's very exciting to hear about. Obviously, maybe he could be the third edge rusher, you know what I'm saying, that they hope, he just need a little more time to, rise his stock or however. But even then, I think maybe playing 34% of the snaps, I think, he could cover wide receivers, you know what I'm saying, maybe, not the same results, you know what I'm saying. I think maybe he can get maybe like 3 or 4 sacks or however throughout 17 games in a Bryce Huff last year sort of situation. I know this year's going to be a lot more percentage of the snaps, but still very exciting to hear about, finally hearing something about him. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with me. I know everyone else already uploaded theirs or however, but yeah, I just wanted to wait just a little bit so I can have the max amount of news so the video is as entertaining as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Sorry for rambling. Sorry for, anything or however, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Really appreciate the view, and really appreciate you guys commenting and feedback. Comment down below any feedback for this video individually or any past videos. Like I said, God bless. You guys have a great day. Philly out. Peace.